I look forward to every Coues deer hunt, but I've been looking forward to this particular hunt in this particular place for going on 15 years. I don't know if there's any big bucks in here. I don't know if we can find water. I'm not even sure I can find the trail. I just knew I wanted to spend substantial time in this mysterious country. In the Superstition Mountains, you're either part of the story or you just read about it. I wanted to be part of the story, or for it to be part of me, and there's only one way in. This is a Coues deer hunt I've wanted to do ever since I drew an Arizona sheep tag back in 2006, if I remember correctly. During that hunt, I found just a remnants of a trail up here and was able to get up on top of this mesa, and we saw some really good Coues deer bucks. And I've always wanted to come back, and it just, for one reason or another, just never seemed to work out. So I actually came in last weekend to kind of scout out and make sure I remember where the trail was. We found out the road is closed about 5 or 6 miles back, but it was open for the e-bikes. So we're like, all right, we saddled up the e-bikes, got the trailer all loaded up, and rode in here. The only problem we got now is that, honestly, it's been, 14 years since I've been in here. Not 100% sure where the trail is. It's normally not a huge deal, except it's rough sheep country, and we're each packing 20 pounds of water, because I have no idea if we're going to be able to find water up on top. So we're pretty dang overloaded with weight. And I'm not sure where the trail is, and it's rough country, but hopefully we can make it up on top there before dark and get a camp set up. But like I said, I've been looking forward to this for 14 years, so I'm excited. Well, we're making slow but sure progress up the mountain here. We found the trail, but it's really hard to stay on because it didn't look like anybody, horse or a person's been on it since I was on here a decade ago. Keep losing it and then having to re-find it and trying to stay on the trail as best we can, because it's bushwhacking in here with this much weight on your back is basically impossible. But we're making progress. We're certainly better than halfway. So we got off the trail down here, and I think I found the trail over here. Start working our way up. Hopefully it becomes an obvious trail at some point. I mean, it's been so long since there's no rock cairns or anything typical trail markers that you find. I mean, it's just an old trail. It's impressive that it's still around, considering nobody ever uses it. Well, we made it to the top, at least the top of what we wanted to get to today. I remember the one time we came in here, I thought this might be a good place to camp, and it is. It'll work well tonight, but we just couldn't help ourselves. You get up here, we got about, maybe an hour before dark. Try to get some glassing in, see if we can find some deer before it gets dark. But this will be home for the next 24 hours anyways. So we started glassing, and I just moved up about 30 yards. Looked over, there's a buck standing over there. He's probably half a mile away. But I mean, a super solid buck for, he's not a shooter for us on this hunt. But it's just cool to see a buck that looks that young, that's already, over 80 inches. I mean, he's probably 80 inches with eye guards. It's a heck of a start, first 15 minutes of glassing.
The Western Hunter is presented by Browning, the best there is. Benchmade knives, the most advanced hunting knives ever. Wilderness Athlete, fuel for the rugged. Option Archery, bringing target precision to hunting camp. Matthews Archery. Crispy Boots. And Western Hunter Magazine.
Well, it's our first morning, and the wind came up in the middle of the night with a vengeance. It's blowing pretty dang stout this morning. But we just finally glassed up our first deer. We got 2 bucks and 3 does over here. It might be the same buck we saw last night, but maybe they're different, not sure. Just not a big buck, but nice bucks. It's kind of good to see them with does. But this is tough days to glass for Coues deer. They hate the wind. Those deer are in one little pocket that is almost completely out of the wind. But the hard part is to see those pockets that are out of the wind. We got to be sitting dead in the wind like we are right now. And it's blowing so hard, it's really hard to glass. This wind could just die in the middle of the day too, or it could blow the entire time we're here. It's up here, you just don't know. You just have to put up with it. But hopefully we can keep finding some more of these pockets where they're out of the wind that these deer want to be in. Mark found a buck over here. He's bedded. He's been bedded the entire time. He's hardly moving his head, but he's obviously got a spot. He's in the sun. You can see the ocotillos are barely moving around him, and there's like no wind where he's at. We really think he's a good buck, but he's just not giving us any look, and it's so hard to judge Coues deer when they're bedded, especially when they won't move their head. So it's difficult to pull any detail out of him. It's a good sign. We've seen at least 4 bucks in here now, and grand total, we haven't glassed for more than 2 hours, and all of them have been respectable bucks. So with the amount of deer sign we're seeing up here, we haven't seen them all yet either. We're just going to wait him out and see if he stands up, and then hopefully he's a big buck. If not, we're going to keep working our way around this country looking for pockets just like that where it's out of the wind, because every pocket like that we found so far, we found a deer in it. So well, we gave that buck some time to stand up, and we were a little suspicious his left side just wasn't going to match up, and it didn't. He's a good buck. We're super excited to see him, but he's just not something we're going after today. But we're going to start moving up this ridgeline this way. With this wind direction, at least we're going to be looking down on country that's pretty much out of the wind. It's tough to glass if you have to be in the wind, and the deer sure don't want to be in it, so we'll find them where they want to be.
The Western Hunter is presented by Swarovski Optic, See the Unseen, Browning Ammunition, Outdoorsman's Packs and Tripods, Base Map, Own the Outdoors, Phelps Game Calls, Get 'em Close, Tally, the world's finest optics mounting system, and Dark Timber Coffee Company. This segment is presented by Bakcou e-bikes, built for hunters by hunters.
This spot right here gives you a good perspective of what we did yesterday to get in here. Where the road ends is way on the other side of this mountain here. And then we jumped on the e-bikes, rode down basically through the bottom of this canyon, put on our packs, worked our way up this canyon, all the way around here, and then right over to there. You can See a little bit of Nate's tent right there. It was a lot of work, especially when you look at it from here, because at the time it was one piece at a time. You know, get the truck parked, let's get on the bikes, let's start hiking. Then even the hike was just one little chunk at a time because we were so heavy coming in here. Sure glad we're here. Gorgeous country. Sometimes it's hard to glass just for not staring at the countryside. So this is our third stop of the morning. Up here, you hit these little drainages and you don't go very far before you get a totally different view. So this is our third stop. I think there's only gonna be one more that we can glass down on. Then we're just gonna actually work our way back to camp, make sure everything's still there and didn't blow away today, and then head up on a point. It's got good elevation. Hopefully the wind's not howling when we get up there. So hopefully this afternoon we'll be able to get up high and see a lot of country we couldn't see into the bottom of stuff that we couldn't see, pick up some deer moving. Well, we came back by camp to make sure it was still here after that wind this morning was howling. And we're gonna head up on that point here now for the rest of the evening. I mean, it's crazy as hard as that wind blew all night and all morning. It is dead calm. Like right now, I wish we had a breeze. It's hot. This morning, we were hiding behind rocks because we were freezing in the wind. It's just crazy how dramatic the change is. But anyways, again, we're gonna head up on top of that. It's gonna give us more elevation. I know those deer will probably be headed toward the bottoms to get out of that wind this morning. So hopefully by getting up a little more elevation, we'll be able to see into those bottoms to see new deer. Yeah, it was typical Coues deer country. I mean, you can glass all you want. You look at it again 3 hours later, you see deer you didn't see before. So we'll be looking for the ones we did find and hopefully find some new ones. Just a heavy-duty, mature 2-point. If we see him tomorrow, I'll shoot him. Well, the evening kind of started slow. It was a warm afternoon. It's cooled down now. We started seeing bucks, but 2 bucks we found this evening, new bucks, are both 2-points. This one is, I think, a pretty big 2-point. I mean, he's definitely a fully mature deer. I mean, his body's just boom. He's with a 2x3 that he just dwarfs. Of course, he's in like an impossible spot, but tomorrow what we're gonna do, we may end up there. And if we end up there and that buck's there, I just might shoot him. He's just a cool looking deer. He's not much for a score, but he's a cool looking deer. Honestly, it was a heck of a first day. I didn't really know what to expect because I've really never come in here just looking for Coues deer. I've been in here sheep hunting, knowing there was Coues deer in here. To see 7 bucks on the first day, I thought was just awesome. I mean, we really didn't glass that much country either. There's obviously a 2-point gene in here because we found 3 mature bucks that were 2-points. I happen to love big 2-points, and I think big 2-point Coues deer are really cool. We're gonna go across a bunch of country in the dark in the morning and then work that country over there tomorrow back to where that big 2-point was. And if he's there in the evening, could be trouble. But after 13 or 14 years of thinking about this hunt, It was just an awesome first day. Couldn't ask for better.
Well, we started hiking in the dark, left camp in the dark this morning to get one ridge line over. Made it over here nicely before the sun came up. The wind came in last night just like it did the night before. There seems to be a pattern to it. I'm hoping there's a pattern because I'm hoping it dies in the middle of the day like it did yesterday. We're gonna work our way over there and then work our way back around this ridge up to where we saw that big 2-point last night. Hopefully we find another big buck before we get there, but if we find that 2-point again, it's gonna be game on. After sleeping on it last night, I really like that buck. But did see one bighorn sheep this morning, but unfortunately she moved too quick before I could even get my spotting scope on her. It's obviously really sheep country, it's just as much as it is Coues deer country. I'm kind of surprised we haven't seen more sheep than just one. But sheep hate the wind too, and they like to be out in the sun. So right now the sunny sides are getting hit by the wind the most. So I think as the afternoon warms up and moves on, things will just continue to improve as the day goes on. Well, we decided to take a little break. The wind's still blowing. Mark found this little hole here that's pretty nice to get out of the wind. But yesterday we noticed that, this deer, when it was windy in the morning, they were just laid up. Really, as the wind started to die down, which we hope it does, we started seeing more movement. So before we walk away from a lot of good Coues deer country, we're just gonna give it some time, see if the wind calms down, see if the deer start getting up. We did see one little buck doe and a fawn this morning already, but they were in exact kind of spots I'd expect to see them in. The one little cubby hole in these mountains where there was no wind, there was a deer there. So fortunately, Mark packed the stove in this morning, so I have some breakfast and some coffee, which is actually really, really nice. Well, it was a bit of a tough day. The wind didn't settle down until right about an hour ago. We started picking up deer. We saw a couple more bucks, a couple more does, but never did find the bucks we were from yesterday, that big 2-point. I really wanted to try to find him today. But we're gonna go ahead and get going. We got some tricky, ledgy stuff that we can't see, but we know it's below us. Sun's about to set, so we're gonna bail off here as quick as we can, get down to safer ground before we have to use headlamps.
This segment is presented by Benchmade Hunt, the most advanced hunting knives ever.
Well, it was a gorgeous night. Finally, the wind did not blow all night long. It was pretty crazy to sleep in that tent with pure quiet, but sure nice. Get a good night's sleep. Today's our last day in here for this trip. We're just gonna have to go out and get more food. Turns out the company Christmas party's tomorrow night, so that works out well too. And then, so if we don't kill a deer today, Nate and I'll be back, but Mark unfortunately won't be able to get back, so we're gonna hit it really hard this morning. But if we don't have something going by noonish or so, we're gonna blow out of here because it's still between packing camp, getting to the bikes, driving to town. It's about a 7-hour process. But with a gorgeous morning like this, we have not had a wind-free morning since we got here. And when the wind's not blowing, the deer are moving. So I'm super excited to get started here this morning because it's who knows what we're gonna find, finally.
He's built a little different than actually what we've seen in this unit so far. He's just a tiny little 3x3. He probably, he's like a 70 to 75 inch deer maybe. But that's the type of deer right there that he hasn't reached his genetic potential. That's he could be a 100-inch Coues deer one day. You just don't know how old he is. But when they're smaller 3x3s like that, they're not 100% matured yet. So he's still got a ton of potential.
So overall, it was a good morning. Beautiful. The wind didn't blow. We found a couple of bucks, maybe one new buck for sure, maybe two new bucks. We bumped a buck that we didn't get a good look at, but a pretty good morning overall. But now we're gonna have to pack out because we need more food. We need one night in town. Mark's got to go back. Unfortunately, he's not going to be able to come back with us. So it should be a relatively easy hike out and an easier hike back in because we found water, which is critical because we all came in with 25 pounds of water on our backs. So we'll be able to come back in super light, know where there's water, know how to hunt the country. My guess is we probably saw half the bucks that are in here. Give it a little bit of time, reshuffle, maybe we get to see the other half, maybe find a bigger buck. Because the bucks we've seen so far, just not, that big 2-point I really liked, but nothing I wanted to actually put a tag on yet. Hopefully we'll be able to find one on that next trip back here in a few days.
This is a Coues deer hunt I've wanted to do ever since I drew an Arizona sheep tag back in 2006, if I remember correctly. Not 100% sure where the trail is. It's rough sheep country and we're packing 20 pounds of water.
Moved up about 30 yards, looked over, there's a buck standing over there. It's a heck of a start, first 15 minutes of glassing. The wind came up in the middle of the night with a vengeance. It's blowing pretty dang stout this morning. That is just a heavy-duty, mature 2-point. If we see him tomorrow, I'll shoot him. Never did find the bucks from yesterday, that big 2-point. I really wanted to try to find him today. Overall, it was a good morning. Beautiful. The wind didn't blow. We found a couple of bucks, but now we're gonna have to pack out because we need more food. When Mark's got to go back, unfortunately, he's not gonna be able to come back with us. My guess is we probably saw half the bucks that are in here. Give it a little bit of time, reshuffle, maybe we get to see the other half. Well, we're back in camp. We left here almost exactly 48 hours ago. Made it back to town. Mark and Nate and I all made the company Christmas party, which was a lot of fun last night. Got up early this morning, drove back here, resupplied. We were out of food. Now that we know where the trail's at, it's amazing how much easier it is to hike in here. We got about 48 hours before we probably have to head out of here. So that's what we got, 5 days till Christmas. So we got a couple of days to hunt before we need to get back with the families. Just excited to be back here. It's just such a spectacular place. We can't lose. Just being here is really, really cool. We finally found some sheep, a couple of rams and a bunch of ewes. It's always cool to see. This hunt started with a sheep hunt, really. I had this tag back in 2006 in this unit. I was just only the second person to ever have a tag in here, so there really wasn't much known about where the sheep were and how to get around this country. And And I'd found a ram down here that I really was looking for. Floyd Green and Julie May and I talked to a rancher, kind of gave us a vague idea of where we might be able to get up, and we figured it out. Never did kill a sheep from here, but I killed my ram about 4 miles over that way. But then the next year, a good friend of mine, Vince Watts, had the tag. We backpacked in here, and that's when we saw some Coues deer. Ever since then, I've wanted to come back here and hunt Coues deer in this country, because it is just amazing country. I just thought it'd be an awesome place to hunt Coues deer. This is a sheep area. It's really not known for Coues deer, and for good reason. There's not a lot of deer here, but it is an area that deer can get old. Outside of lions, there's not much for hunting pressure in here. It really kind of intrigued me about this. Just a place where you could truly find old bucks. Looking for one of those just big-bodied, old, mature bucks is what I'm really shooting for. Of course, we're running a little short on time, so we'll see how I hold out on that. But Coues deer hunts are not usually born from sheep hunts, but this one sure was. Just as I suspected and maybe secretly hoped, we've been kicked in the teeth by big hikes, wind, cold, heat, and cactus, but the adventure and solitude have countered in equal measure. There are hundreds of miles in this unit I could hunt, most of which is way easier to access, and I could probably find a bigger buck. But at this point, I have no interest in going there. This is the place. This is the adventure I dreamed about. This is where I'm going to finish this hunt. Well, we put in a long day, a lot of miles. Unfortunately, the wind blew really hard until about an hour ago. It finally calmed down. We did just find another buck. Pretty sure it's a buck we've seen before. He's a smallish 3-point. We did see another buck today. It's a 2-point. We think we've seen him like 7 or 8 times now. Looked back at some footage and pretty sure we've just seen the same buck a whole bunch of times. Unfortunately, the 2 bucks that we're looking for, we've seen once and fleetingly. So a little frustrating to be able to find the small bucks over and over again, or smaller bucks, and not find our target bucks. But still, we've only seen 2 bucks since we got in here yesterday, a little over 24 hours ago. And we know there's like 8 or 10 bucks in here. So we're missing a lot of bucks still, missing a lot of deer. The wind had to have hurt us today, but we're gonna just kind of keep glassing here till pretty close to dark and then get ourselves off of this point before dark. It's kind of nasty. And then tomorrow, get up on this other butte that's right across from us now and stare into that country that we've seen that one good buck in and see if we can't pull him out of there. Crossing our fingers, the wind dies down tonight, we get a nice calm morning, and hopefully deer will be up. Coues deer, like I've said before, they don't like the wind at all. They don't get up till they have to, and then they do the bare minimum of movement. So hopefully we got a calm morning.
The Western Hunter is presented by Browning, the best there is. Benchmade knives, the most advanced hunting knives ever. Wilderness Athlete, fuel for the rugged. Option Archery, bringing target precision to hunting camp. Matthews Archery, Crispy Boots, and Western Hunter Magazine.
been an awfully tough morning. We rolled back over on this side. The crazy thing is, all this country we have to look at, one of the few places you do is look back at your tent. I mean, you look back to make sure it's there every now and then, but you don't glass around camp. This buck's probably bedded not more than 100, 150 yards from our tent right now. And he and those does have probably been there all morning, but just out of, bad habit. We just don't glass back and look for deer right around our camp, and that's right where he is. He's probably been there all morning long. So around the campfire last night, Nate and I were talking, it's time to get home for Christmas. And so we were going to be packing out tonight. And Nate asked me if, since we haven't found the quality of bucks that we really were looking for and here hoping for, is there another place? And I was like, there is. There's lots. But I came here to hunt here, and I want to kill a deer here. So I really got to thinking, I'm like, well, it's time to stop passing up bucks. So I told Nate, if we find that 3-point again today, we're going to go after him. So we're going to make a move on this buck. He shouldn't be a terribly tough stock, and he looks like he's really content to just lay there for a while. It's doggone, it's hot. So my guess is he'll stay in that shade as long as he can put up with it. It's not like there's big tree lines or anything deer can go to here. They can just hide underneath bushes until the sun starts to set. So we need to get there before that happens, because we don't want him walking away on us. All my fault. I had my focus this way, and all of a sudden I look over and I'm like, I'm totally exposed to those deer. And of course, there was one doe laying there, looking right up our way. I thought they would give us some time, and they just ran away from us. Sorry, Nate. God. Thought for sure. Like we both said, it's pretty easy, straightforward stock. All we could do is get off that butte, drop down here, top over, and shoot him 150 yards from camp. I thought we were being super sneaky. I thought we had a super good approach here, and I thought I was totally hidden. And instead, I'm standing out there like a scarecrow on the horizon. The whole time he was laying right there by camp. Well, I decided that, I put in for this tag specifically to do this hunt in this place. And even though I feel like we've done a really good job of taking inventory of all the bucks in here, I've decided I'm not going to go anywhere else. I'm going to come back here. It's going to be after Christmas. We have a few more days to wait. Who knows? Maybe I'll come back here and there's a big buck showed up, but honestly, I doubt it. I think we've seen just about everything that lives in this country. But again, I don't want to hunt anywhere else. I just want to come back here. So that's what I'm going to do. Really determined to hunt this place and kill a deer in this place. It'll be a special spot on the wall, no matter how big he is.
The Western Hunter is presented by Swarovski Optic, See the Unseen, Browning Ammunition, Outdoorsman's Packs and Tripods, Base Map, Own the Outdoors, Phelps Game Calls, Get 'em Close, Tally, the world's finest optics mounting system, and Dark Timber Coffee Company. This segment is presented by Bakcou e-bikes, built for hunters by hunters.
Well, we made it back. It's a few days after Christmas now. Nate went home for Christmas to spend time with the family, so Levi's here with me now. Levi helped us on a Coues deer hunt with Mark last year, but stoked to have him in here. He loves to Coues deer hunt as much as I do. But definitely a weather change. The dark clouds off to the north here that they were calling for a chance of rain and snow maybe tonight, which feels a little crazy right now because it was a hot hike in here. But I'm excited now because I feel like we know what bucks are in here, and it's just a matter of finding one of those bucks. I'd like to find that 3-point that I blew it on last time, but it was a windy day, so I'm hoping now the wind's calmed down. Since we got up here, the wind's been pretty calm, that these deer are up and moving. So we're gonna head up to the glassing point up here where I blew it on that buck and start looking, see if we can find those deer. We got a few more days here. Excited to be back up here. It's starting to feel a little bit like home, which is kind of scary. Spent more nights on this mountain than I have in my own bed in the last 2 weeks. This morning played out perfectly. Last night, right about time to go to bed, it started to rain. And it rained a good 3 or 4 hours last night. Not real hard, but enough to get everything wet and damp and quiet. And it's dead calm, which is spectacular. Found a few deer so far. I found a buck over here that we got a really quick look at before he rolled over. Pretty sure it's the buck that Nate and Mark and I jumped, but he's in a really tough spot. We've been over there twice, in fact. There's just no way to get around him. Literally, it's nothing but cliffs on the other side of where he went over. So there's no way to get on the other side and look up at him. So we're just gonna be really patient because it's first full day in here and it's gorgeous. I think hopefully these deer will be up feeding. The does we saw last night didn't even stand up because that wind was howling right till dark. But today's just perfect. One of the other bonuses in here always is a day like this, the sheep will want to come up. We saw a band of rams last night, long ways off. But that buck, I didn't get a good enough look at him to say for sure what he is, but I'm pretty sure he's the buck we jumped, and if he is, he's definitely a buck I'd like to shoot. But we're just gonna have to be really patient with him because he's in a spot that, like I said, the odds of us screwing it up are way higher than the odds of killing him. So we're gonna just take our time and see if we can stack the odds in our favor. Well, finally found that buck. He's with 2 does in a bit of, I definitely call it a tricky spot. They're on top of this little ridge. There's a point above them, but the point is so rocky, I don't think there's any way we could get up on it to shoot down on them. So we're actually just gonna be patient. It's still relatively early, it's 1 o'clock. We've got all afternoon. They're only about, I'm gonna guess about 700 or 800 yards. So we're just gonna give it a little bit of time, see what they do or don't do. Then we just gotta get closer, obviously. But finally, it's been a slow day. Until we found him, we'd seen more bobcats than we have bucks. Kind of weird. I was expecting a really active day, and it's been actually a really kind of just slow day. Deer just aren't moving around much at all. But finally found him, so super excited.
This segment is presented by Benchmade Hunt, the most advanced hunting knives ever.
Well, those deer just went in right behind that rocky point there, and they fed behind that. So what we're gonna try to do is we'll drop down here, get up, and we're gonna go around the left side of that peak on that flat right there. And hopefully we'll be able to see into them there. Nate and Mark and I were in that exact spot a couple weeks ago. I don't think there's a lot of room. It just drops off this sheer cliff on that side. You can see it's a sheer cliff from above where we're going to be shooting from. There's a 50-50 chance we won't be able to see him at all from there. But we can't shoot from here. We're going to get closer. So then we're going to just go ahead and pack up, get over there and get in there as quietly as we can, and hopefully see them before they see us. Super stoked. We came up here, we couldn't see him, and we came up on this crevice, and we actually bumped the two does we thought were with those two bucks, but there was no bucks with them, and the does didn't spook bad. And we're like, you know what? These deer just love this little basin. We decided we're just going to sit here, blast up a doe that was bedded, and she finally stood up, and boom, the buck stood up with her. He was going to get away from us if we didn't get set up and take the shot. Yeah, it's been about 16 years, I guess, in the making to kill this buck, so we did it. My hunt is over. Well, this is him. This is the buck I blew it on last time, over on the other side over there. This is one of the most satisfying hunts I think I've ever been on. I mean, to the amount of work that we put in, the time, the effort, bringing in the Bakcou bikes, then having to backpack in and find water and multiple trips up and down the mountain. Yeah, this buck will always have a special place for me, really. It literally is a dream come true to come back in here and hunt deer. They always say, you know, that Coues deer, they call them the poor man's sheep hunt. Well, we are in the middle of desert bighorn sheep country. Rough, steep, nasty country. We've seen probably more sheep than deer. This is definitely my second desert sheep. Just to be back in this place and do it again, it's been a dream come true.
These mountains are famous for hiding secret pockets of precious metals, luring fortune seekers from around the world. Those gold miners in their burrows forged these rustic trails looking for the path to riches. I can only hope they found the treasure they were looking for, like I did.